Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on? It's been like 48, 72 hours. I don't know what it's been, but you know what? I'll tell you, XRP, the SEC and the XRP and Ripple and all that. There's one question that everybody keeps asking all over the world in the cryptocurrency space, and it is why XRP? And it just keeps coming up over and over and over again. And you know what? People are getting fed up with what's going on over the SEC because there's so many great things happening in the crypto space, Chip. And we want to get into some of that stuff tonight.
Well, why don't we do it? Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Why, Jeff? That's what everybody wants to know. They want to know why. Why exactly would you choose XRP? Man, there's so many cool tweets to jump into today and this week.
There's a lot of great ones. And then Deaton put up another good one, really referencing some of the people all over the world that are highly concerned about what's going on.
Highly concerned. Well, they should be highly concerned because it's been basically, I mean, the whole thing's getting ridiculous. And then we got some other tweets dealing with tribalism, and it's getting to be crazy.
First one to notice, Chip.
Yeah, man, I got some pretty long hair cut off. It was like pretty long, and yeah, man, it's time for something new. 2022. Let's open it up. Let's do something.
Number 2.
Cool.
Look at that.
Like in the new do. Sweet, man. I got the nice. Yeah, you got to change up every once in a while, man. I'm just thankful to still have hair. That's all I can tell you guys. But it's weird because they go to super long. It was like pulled back. It was like laid down. Now it's like boing. Now I got the Conan O'Brien wave going on. But it's all good. It's like it's just like
what it is.
It like popped up out of nowhere. It's like my hair never used to be like that crazy, but it's all good, man. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. So I guess what we'll probably jump into is. Wait a minute. Is this Sunday? Yeah.
Go right into the first one.
Sunday stream?
Yeah. Sunday.
Why do we have January 15th on there? It's January 16th. The date is wrong.
15th, 16th. It's all the same.
I was like, the date is wrong. I'm kind of lost here. It's like it was pushing me off. Right. And then Monday, it says Monday's supposed to be the
XRP
17th.
Panic Notice, Chip. Nice haircut.
Nice haircut, Jeff. Jeff always looking slick, and he should let some of that just pop in there. And he always has a freshly shaved, at least the head, but not always the. See, by the way, I showed my parents that they were laughing so hard because, like, you don't watch the show. What the hell's wrong with you people? Come on.
Yeah. Chip, I think we should jump into this one right here, which is straight out of the bat with John Deaton, because this one is a great one to start with. And there's so many amazing things that are happening, but I like this. I really, I saw him post this and I said, man, this is like, just hitting it out of the park, kind of spot on right away. So here's John Deaton. I'm a U.S. citizen, served 8 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. I'm disgusted over the SEC's conduct. 45% of XRP holders who joined the fight are outside the U.S. The damage the SEC has done to them in some ways is worse. Their government agency may consider XRP a non-security, yet their XRP is held hostage. And then you see some of the comments, Chip, and this is really amazing. Like, here's the first one. Monty Burns over here in the UK. It's crystal clear that XRP is not classed as such. However, the antics of the parasites and SEC have hurt me and many friends that have held funds in XRP.
Yeah, and read Deaton's answer there.
This is a good one. It's why I tweeted this out. I want my international brothers and sisters to know that I at least try to appreciate their frustration or anger. Japan, the UK, Switzerland, Singapore, and the UAE, I believe, have all affirmatively declared XRP as a non-security. There may be others. And this is really, when you start asking that question, why? And you have to continue that because of the stance they've taken, which is crazy. But here's the real Jeff, not just any Jeff, but the real one right here. I am not I'm not an XRP holder, nor do I have any interest in the project. However, anyone not interested in this fight is fooling themselves if they think the SEC will not be emboldened against crypto in general. If they win against Ripple, I stand against the SEC and government overreach. And it could, the commentary just goes on and on and on. But what are your thoughts so far, on this?
Well, I mean, the point he's raising, Jeff, though, it's like, imagine like you're in the UK and XRP is not a security yet. Because of the action of the SEC, you basically damage the investment. And that's exactly what's happening. And here's the weird part. Almost in every corner of the world, XRP is not a security. But yet the SEC is on some rogue, crazy mission, even though they've been told, look, you're going to suppress innovation. You're going to chase people out of the US. And the problem is they're so caught up in their insane ideology. Let's just put it that way. This ideology and this enforcement prong and everything that Gensler is coming out with. I mean, you knew he was misguided when he put out a video, Jeff, talking about you could go to a bank and get 8% interest. This is a guy that's worth $120 million who doesn't know how us average people live, knows nothing about it. But supposedly you're going to be able to go to a bank and get a 6 or 8% interest. Putting out videos like that and trying to advise college age kids when he doesn't know what's going on. That's what always happens when you've got an elite trying to pretend that they know exactly what people are dealing with in their everyday life. And what I like, Jeff, is that everybody who might not have been involved in investment didn't care about it. This is something that digital assets, blockchain, are bringing to the forefront, and it's uniting us all over the world.
100%. I think, spot on, which is why tomorrow night, we're going to have Eleanor Terrett on, and it's going to be, outstanding, and she's coming in from Fox Business, and she works with Charlie Gasparino, and they did some really, fine investigation and writing, about this subject as well. So, looking forward to tomorrow night. And it's amazing, you think about the battle that John has taken on, right? And we've referenced this, and when he's been on the show, we've talked to him about it. But man, it just, it keeps presenting itself, and you look at John and his story, going back to last year when he, saw the case dropped by the SEC, and he sees that they're singling out XRP as a security, and it referenced all the way up into current day trading. And he said, well, wait a minute, this makes no sense. And man, the year has flown by. I can remember when we first brought him on the show a year ago to discuss, and things were just opening up, and there was a lot of hope that there'd be, some outcome by the summer. And here we are already midwinter, and looking, forward to seeing how this is going to kind of develop into 22. But man, the impact that this has had on investors, and it's the whole space. It's everything.
It's everything for sure. And one of the things that I originally did not have this in the keep, but it was like so spot on with what you were talking about, Jeff, and the whole thing what John Deaton was talking about, that this really is about, I mean, this has interest worldwide because of investors, period. And Bank XRP put this video out. It was an excerpt from Chico Crypto, and he's traditionally been an a BTC maxi, right? Now he's gotten into other altcoins, but not of the XRP variety, but ETH and some other altcoins that he's called on, but he primarily focuses on really Bitcoin and whatnot. And I've always liked the guy. I think he's an interesting personality, whether you like him or not. And sometimes he said stuff and I'm like, I don't agree, or I yell at my phone or the screen. But this is interesting because Chico Crypto, I'll put this up here, worried about the Ripple case. So let's see what his excerpt is. And this is Chico Crypto. And hang on a second. There's no volume there, right, Jeff?
Perfect sound.
That's right. Here we go. Hang on. Let's play that again. Let's play it again.
I'm kind of worried about the Ripple case. I almost have a feeling that it was kind of set up to be like this. It's not about Ripple and classifying Ripple as a security. It's actually going back and being able to get Ethereum and classify it as a security and take down what's happened. DeFi has unshackled a lot of people and gave people financial freedom through, you know, some of these APYs and the ability to stack money and, you know, leverage their assets in ways that weren't possible in traditional financial system unless you're buku rich. Well, it's given people like me and you the opportunity to get those APYs that some of the richer people get out in this world. So you guys, again, be wary about this case. I need to make some content on it because it is one of the biggest things in the crypto markets that's happening right now. I think that's about it, you guys.
So this is interesting because here's why, because it's great that somebody like Chico Crypto is waking up to this. Like he's starting to I think a lot of people are starting to get it. Like, wait a minute. We've all been dismissing this or coming after Ripple, but they've got the spotlight on us. One of the things he brings a really solid point about is that the elites do not like you making a lot of money, Jeff. They don't like the little guy making a lot of money. What's that?
No, they definitely don't.
I see you laughing over there. Something's going on, but they don't like the little guy making a lot of money, and they don't want it to. And it's one of the things he's talking about. Yeah. Crypto dads. Hey, yeah, that's right. We'll be the crypto dads.
Crypto dads.
Charles Loring. By the way, you have a name like Charles, which is like something from the 14th century, right? I mean, you know, Charles. Hello, Charles. And I love that, Charles. Charles is a great name, actually. And you know what? Right. Charlie, you know, like say Charlie Gasparino, but I like Charles. You know, to me, Charles is like more, it's like regal, man, you know?
Very regal versus.
It's a regal name, you know, and, you know, we're happy to be your crypto dads, man.
Exactly. We got the crypto dads going on here. And when you go up to the Boca golf and tennis resort, you might run into Chip.
It's possible. It's possible it could happen, man.
That's right.
And then
hey, real quick before you go on, this is spot on right here with Matt Hamilton. I like John's point along the lines of if the SEC wanted someone to go after, why didn't they go after Ethereum, as that would have been an easier case.
We got that tweet as well. We were going to cover. So yeah, that's exactly right. It was the easier one, but I think there's something more mischievous around this. And if you look at what Consensus has just done, Consensus just aligned with Visa, which we'll talk a little bit more about. They just aligned with Visa to work on CBDC stuff. And it's like, wait a minute. Remember we were told, Jeff, wait a minute, Ethereum is not a competitor to Ripple. No, not at all. There's no competition there. And then news like this starts coming out. You're starting to think that it was all sort of a devious plan. And when the other good point that John Deaton had was Hinman better lawyer up because it's not looking too well. Supposedly that $15 million he received from Simpson Thatcher was supposed to be retirement benefits, but you notice he left the SEC and went back to work. He did not retire. There's just holes everywhere. And the problem I think they're going to have is that the internet is forever. It's on video. It's been written. It exists somewhere. And I think they're in a lot of trouble because, oh no, it was a retirement benefits, but you didn't retire. Yeah. So, and it'll be interesting to see that the judge ruling to release some of the documentation pertaining to the meetings. Will it be redacted, Jeff? Will it look like what Deaton when he went on Patrick Bet-David's show and showed just blacked out lines on multiple pages with like an occasional and, if, or the?
Man, I hope not. You know, I mean, I would expect at this point in the case, you know, they have to give them everything. You know, but we'll see.
You would expect. Well, Jeff, we expected a lot of things.
Everything. They should get everything. Everything that has been, you know, in any of the communication. I think the big thing is that they're presenting, you know, the that whole speech into the case, which which is really key. You know, and then you have to really again go back and ask that question. You know, why?
But the judge ruled that they believed it was a personal opinion. Okay, well, that opens up a lot of things. And if anything, right. I think that recent thing is what has Chico Crypto and some people opening their eyes like, wait a minute, hold on, hold up. So Deaton answered Bank XRP's talking about Chico Crypto. He said people allowed the inflammatory language of the complaint, i.e. using fraud-like language in a non-fraud case to think it was a Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse problem. Many of us have been saying otherwise. If the SEC wins the case as alleged, all coins are implicated. And I think that specific part of it is what people might be waking up to.
I think so too. And we need more of that awakening. So, you know, it's going to impact, it's not just altcoin, it's everything. Bitcoin across the board. You know, and so that is, you know, for anyone to take a very maximalist approach at this point, or, you know, I've seen some reference from some others that, you know, they're kind of fed up with, you know, the conversation or discussion, you know, over the topic, or, you know, this is, you know, an XRP only thing. But you're right. You know, everybody in the crypto space should be woken up at this point and getting behind to support this, you know, the asset class in general. And forget about tribalism, forget about maximalism. It's at this point, it's like, what can we do, you know, to further benefit the space at large? And that means, you know, how do we, you know, tap into what the mayor of Miami has been up to? You know, how do we see that as a winning formula? How do we see what's been going on in Wyoming as a winning formula? And how is it that we don't see, you know, organizations like the Blockchain Association, you know, where are they, you know, getting behind this?
I am so hopped up about that today. I know I pinged you a bunch of times about this, but this one got me going. This one like lit a fire. Before we get to that, though, I think it's really important that we look at this right here. So Nick Carter, okay, this guy's a piece of work. Nick Carter's a piece of work. He's unreal. So he puts out this stuff. First of all, you know, I mean, props to him for being an investor and doing some great things in the space. Okay, great. But this whole attitude, we're at the point where the government's teaming up with Ripple to create paid opposition research on Bitcoin mining. Okay. And this stuff is just it's so far off, Jeff. And the best person to destroy him is Sam I Am. If you know Sam I Am to the lifeboats, we have a little video clip of that I want to play because it'll make sense. Well, I'm not going to go through that. It perfectly explains it.
And David Schwartz we have a link.
I got that too. I got that one. And I got Matt Hamilton. So
perfect.
So he says, oh, and here's the punchline. People are dying because of the $6 a month in power costs. I haven't vetted the paper. I'm almost certain it's exaggerated, but even if it's true, it doesn't justify the hysterical takes. And they're talking, he's referencing some whatever. Then, so this is the one.
Why the different, look at the people. People are dying. Why is it different?
Because this is what you do when you want to avoid the censors on potentially. People put things in upper and lowercase.
People are dying,
characters.
So then it's going to throw off the censor.
Because, well, this is what I see people do on Twitter. Okay, so they'll put special characters, spaces, and all kinds of weird stuff. I don't think a filter discerns between upper and lowercase. I think it just sees it for what it is, or maybe he wants to kind of tone it down. Sometimes people might want to tone it down a little bit.
Could be, yeah.
This is the one that set a lot of people off, set me off too. But he says, if you're in any way affiliated with Ripple, if you've ever worked with them, if you've taken money from them, if you're dead to me. It's that simple. Your entire strategy is lobbying A, to get Bitcoin proof of work banned, and B, to get Ethereum branded as security. Ghastly people.
Where does he come up with that? I mean, that's a crazy statement. You know, you think about it. Has anybody been on the record to do either one of those things?
Well, no, it's preposterous, Jeff. First of all, this is when you have limited knowledge. You don't really know what's going on. Now, if you take a point of view that, first of all, I don't think anybody, I think what people have pointed out, and I think where he might have got like a little bit of maybe an over, you know, he heard a little bit about what's going on when we're talking about Ethereum, and it's right on. Well, why would you go after, they had an ICO. I mean, it was a legitimate ICO. Why didn't they go after that? People are pointing out stuff that, not like we hope Ethereum goes down. Nobody does. I mean, I hold Ethereum. I mean, a lot of people do. John Deaton's been very open about it. You know, come on. I mean, here we go right here. So here's Matt Hamilton's. He said, and he was commenting on that. There's a reason you can't see it. He says, when Bitcoin maximalists throw their dummies out the pram, it's curious why they expend so much energy trying to remain ignorant. Nailed it. Why would they spend so much time trying to remain ignorant? And look at this. Oh, well, I'm sure his echo chamber is nice and cozy. Blocked. So how did he deal with that?
Matt, you are blocked.
He blocked Matt Hamilton's
tweet. Good job.
That was it,
Matt.
And I love it. It says, "Oh well, I'm sure his echo chamber is nice and cozy. He can talk to just himself, and he'll rant for just himself."
Himself and his other maximalists. I mean, it's so outlandish because from the beginning, it seems like the Bitcoin maximalists were the ones singling out and targeting XRP and anybody that was thinking about investing in XRP and labeling it they call it the shit coin, or they'll call it, the banker's coin, and just complete undermining of the space instead of trying to embrace this concept of, development within blockchain and crypto, asset classes in general. So it always goes back to what we talk about, Chip. How could there be only one? It doesn't
Well, in
work.
Highlander, it can only be one, Jeff.
In Highlander, it could only be one, but
one.
somehow in Highlander there were tons and tons of them. It's just like,
But there were
so
going
many
to
of
the
them.
quickening. They were like working towards
Right. By the end, there could only be one.
Yeah, by the end.
Yeah.
So look at this. So
not thousands.
so Nick Carter says, "Cringy Ripple Army found my tweet. Amazing they still exist." I mean, okay. And of course, Lionel said, "No, ETH screwed themselves, and it's all on video, you plum." And then Matt Hamilton said, "Meh, you seem to think your misinformed opinion was worth something to start with. Just great. BTC maxis, when facts are shared, they start doing their little, their little tantrum, their little kids kicking their legs and stuff." And yeah, there it is right there. Yeah,
it's brilliant.
So I mean, everybody kind of kicked in there, but the one that I thought was great too. Another one is David Schwartz even weighed in on this. He's like, "This is comically absurd. Either of those two things would be disastrous for Ripple." And he's right, because
he's 100% right.
But why, Jeff? Why do you think David Schwartz nails that?
Well, you look at, again, it goes back to what we've been talking about. Space in general. So if they're going to label and brand Ethereum a security, what happens to the rest of the industry? That's
right.
That's the end of the industry.
Right.
It's so absurd. You want to ban Bitcoin. You're not just banning Bitcoin. You're banning everything. So Nick Carter is so off the wall that, and he's he thinks people are resurrecting the tweet. But you know what? If you want to, put yourself into a box, into a Bitcoin maxi box, then you have an issue. The fact that he had to block Matt Hamilton is really pathetic.
Well, because let's face it, there's some epic videos out there that Matt Hamilton has just, talked facts. I mean, he's talking facts and people are talking fantasy stuff. And quite honestly, I wish it would have ended up in a dialogue where we could have seen both of them go back and forth and share some opinions.
And then gain out of it.
But again, that's the whole thing about being in the echo chamber. But he nails it. It's comically absurd. I mean, this is what happens. A maxi brain can't handle the crypto market as a whole, right? It's got to say, either of those two things would be disastrous for Ripple. A maximalist thinks, "Oh, you're going to go after my coin. I hope your coin dies." No, that's a maxi sort of a come from and a thought pattern. That's not how the rest of us think. I want everything to win. Right. I'm grateful for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin dug the well that created all of the, that initiated all of this. And Ethereum is Ethereum. I mean, and it brought smart contracts that allows. Why would you sit there and destroy something? Nobody wants it destroyed. And I think the point of it is that would have been the easier one to go after, instead of lobbying, like using fraud language in a non-fraud case, which was really John Deaton's point.
I still think, at the end of the day, there's more to why they went after Ripple, at that moment in time. And Ripple is, even though Ethereum may have been an easier target in terms of the historical development of the asset, they weren't specifically going after XRP as their primary target. You can almost say it was a secondary target, although it might have been a primary target, but their primary target was Ripple. And Ripple, I think, as a company, is, in their estimation, was an easier target because it's a for-profit entity that they could single out, and you have people to name, and they can, make any type of insinuation that they want to make, and basically, put everything into their case, including the kitchen sink, and see what sticks. And that's kind of what they did. and they figure at this point in time, if they go after Ripple as an entity, there's still more to it, because Ethereum isn't taking on and potentially at that moment in time wasn't really a threat to any specific agency or any organization. And if you look at RippleNet, it was a direct competitor to Swift. And for many different reasons that I know we've kind of talked about on the show multiple times, I believe that fact alone was probably one of their leading concerns was, how do we how do they take action in order to protect this one entity, which is Swift? And it might not even be a protection of Swift so much as how dare you, try to take on this one entity that is a conglomerate of the majority of the banking industry. So although they're there to help banks, how dare they?
No, exactly
what are your
right.
thoughts on that?
No, I mean, exactly. But before we get too far away from the subject matter of Nick Carter and his absurd comments, look, I mean, before we get too far away from that, John Deaton put out a tweet, and he actually tweeted this out. But if you guys know Sam, I am from the Lifeboats podcast. John Deaton said, please remind me never to piss off Sam, or at least never say dumbass shit. Epic takedown with a full stop, followed by a mic drop. And nobody does it better than Sam. And this one right here, he just totally nails it.
The tweet, you want to pull it up?
I want to pull up the video.
Oh,
so here's Sam. Tell me if you don't hear it. This is what John was talking about.
Bitcoin maximalist Nick Carter has found the smoking gun against Ripple. He tweets, we're at the point where the government is teaming up with Ripple to create paid opposition research on Bitcoin mining. And he points to this report from May of last year that lists Adair Morse as one of the authors of the study, talking about high electricity use spills over into the local economy. And here it's in the financial support. It's disclosed that they get money from Ripple's UBRI. And see there, she is listed at the Department of Treasury, which sounds pretty damning until you actually do 1 ounce of research and you see that Berkeley Haas Blockchain Initiative is a 5-year partnership with Ripple, one that Professor Adair left months before the report was published to go work in the Biden administration's Treasury Department. She took leave and quit. So this is the same Biden administration that is currently suing Ripple to shut them down and give Bitcoin and Ethereum the advantage. So great theory there, Nick, but he doubles down on stupid and says, oh, and here's the punchline. People are dying because of $6 per month power cost, increase in power cost. That's what the paper finds, right? Well, you know what, Nick, $71 a year may not be much to a yuppie venture capital asshole like you, but to people living under the poverty line, it is meaningful. And to sit there and suggest that these people should subsidize the externalities of the Bitcoin network so that you can rent seek on layer 2 on top of an inefficient layer 1 blockchain that's based on old technology shows what a complete pompous asshole you are. Look at what happened in Kazakhstan. China kicked the miners out. Some of them moved to Kazakhstan. That drove electricity prices up. And then when the government shut off the internet, the Bitcoin hash rate dropped over 10% and the country descended into chaos. Okay, there are real world consequences to this, Nick, but you wouldn't know that because you don't even allow comments in your echo chamber. You are just a fucking humanitarian of the year.
Beep.
Beep.
Bleep.
Yeah. Mic drop. Yeah. I mean, Sam roasts him in only a way that Sam can roast him. And he totally nailed him. I mean, it's like, look, an ounce of research. The guy didn't even he didn't even do a Google search to even check any of that stuff out. It's just insane. But
I mean, Sam brought up some good points, in terms of what's going on over in Kazakhstan. And now we see something going on over in Kosovo. Really, really solid points. It can be devastating, and that shows you, what can happen, when there's some instability, but yet you don't expect stability in if you're going to have any type of, threat against power grids and any threat of cataclysmic war, that disrupts society. You're going to have, everything is disrupted, not just power grids. in a shutdown of Bitcoin mining, it's going to have, far-reaching, impact on life, but therein lies an issue, and so, obviously this was a major problem, and it's interesting, and we'll get into, later on, talking about even, how we're seeing more and more countries that are looking for a way out that aren't necessarily unstable because of any potential military conflict like that, but they are economically unstable. So we look at like and they're looking for a bailout, or they're looking for a hedge, similar to what we see MicroStrategy doing, but there's multiple countries around the world that are moving, like we saw with El Salvador, and now Tonga, and now we see Rio de Janeiro, also, moving in this direction with Bitcoin. And so that's something that we have to really be cognizant of. And that's why you can't be tribalistic. You can't be maximalistic. We see countries that are looking for ways out. And obviously there's a lot of other assets that could probably do that and more for them. But it's recognition. It's for them, it's branding at this point. And I'm really wondering, what is the catalyst to why they're moving only to Bitcoin? Why, maybe they need to look at what Miami's doing, beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, I question a lot of what's going on, but I feel like 2022 is going to be, there's a lot of great stuff is already queued up. A lot of people waited, it's kind of like a refreshing, rebranding. We got 2020, 2021 behind us. A lot of stuff is already shifting in 2022, which I'm just glad to see in a lot of just different levels. Not to get into specifics, but a lot of things are starting to open up. A lot of thinking's looking at changing. People are starting to wake up. And I think that's a great thing. One of the things that I put out, which was interesting, I put this one out, and I know somebody immediately hit me with, of course, I knew this was bound to happen, but let me put this up on screen here. I put this Ripple update up here, Jeff. Just this is kind of a fun thing to do, but
I like this.
The Ripple update. So first they ignore you. This is as it pertains to Ripple, and this is a famous saying, of course. Check. Then they laugh at you. Check. You remember all the people? It's a banker's coin, Jeff. It doesn't do anything for real. And no, Ripple wasn't building, world-class enterprise level, interoperability and moving, getting rid of the Nostra Vostra accounts, moving from point A to point B. No, they laugh at you. And then, Jeff, and then they fight you, right? That's what we have right now. That's where we're at. Check. And then you win. Now, the comment's been Mahatma Gandhi is like one of the people who it's attributed to. However, I've gotten into this before where the problem is that it goes back to the 1920s when it was sort of a different type of a speech, which I knew, but I could never find the attribution of who really said it. So the closest person is why I put Gandhi, and someone had hit me with like, no, Gandhi didn't say that, but I'm like, but who's it attributed to? But that's it, Jeff. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. And that couldn't be more apropos right now. It's like, keep on hodling. We're almost there. Not financial advice, just one man's opinion. And then I like what Bart D says here. He says, we need to consider the blessings here. Once we are done with the SEC, XRP will have a definitive position no other token has. This opens the floodgates on all the projects working in the background. And, Scotty from XRP News says, and then what did he have? Followers who are connected. He's talking about Gandhi. Followers who are connected and cooperating. What do we have? People that tweet haphazardly and watch videos. Yeah. Truth will set you free. First it'll piss you off, then we can do better in the XRP Army community. Gary, so far, is laughing and ignoring us. That's right. And what else we have here? XRP explode and all this other stuff. So
good comments. Really good.
Some really good comments. Ripple's going to make the SEC beg for a settlement. Hey, Coinbase, list XRP again. XRP will change for the good. So many lives this year. Kenny Nguyen put this out. This was actually a comment in there. I love this. He says, this bowl of combination Vietnamese pho noodles soup cost me 14 XRP. In the year of 2023, it will cost 0.000001 XRP in my belief. Happy Sunday, my friends.
See that picture? Holy cow, that looks good.
Damn, I love phone. I love Vietnamese phone noodles, man.
Man, yeah, Vietnamese food is great.
It
You
really
can get
is.
a good Vietnamese restaurant. I don't know that we have one around here.
There's one right down the street from me, man.
Really?
Good phone noodles. You have to come up here. We'll have a drive up here. We'll have a nice, especially some spicy stuff too. Really good. But again, this is, look at the way different people look at the way things go down, right? Some people are very optimistic, glasses half full. Some people are like, oh gosh, doom and gloom. And you always have a choice. You can always choose to see it the way you want. And the best part about it is you have the freedom to choose the way that you want to see it. Nobody's telling you how to do stuff and how to see it. Jeff and I have our opinions here, and that's just all they are. They're just opinions of two guys, crypto dads, if you will, to one guy, one special guy out in our audience there. But that's how it is.
I like it.
I was just reading some of the comments. Bob Moneybag says, hey, I'm hoping the majority of the population doesn't get shut out of digital assets. The new financial system as the new financial system phases in, and that's good too. And it's incredible, Jeff, just to think about how things are going. And I found this one right before showtime as I was watching the 49ers and Dallas game, which was really came down to the wire. But I've got to show you this, Jeff. This one really got me going here. But look at this.
All right, let's see it.
Look at the headline. JP Morgan plots astonishing $12 billion tech spend to beat fintechs. Big increase mid-investment will hurt profitability, raising fears for rival bank earnings in 2022. Of course,
it's amazing.
Right? Of course. Well, I mean, it's like, I mean, just the headline alone, it plots an astonishing $12 billion to beat the fintechs.
That's amazing. That's what they want to spend. They have a $12 billion spend. Is that what they're planning? I mean, this is unreal.
Well,
there's a banking group, right? A financial group. People are keeping their money with them. People are borrowing money, through these entities. And then you wonder, why you're paying the mortgage rates, where the money goes, where your the percentages that you're paying on any kind of loan that you're getting through these entities, and how they're going to keep spending and spending. And, it's just trying to beat with money. What about beating them with technology?
Yeah. How about beating them
with better solutions?
No, exactly. So it says, as it reported record profits last year, JP Morgan stunned analysts with the forecast expenses would increase by 8% this year to around $77 billion, meaning it would probably miss a key profitability target in 2022 and possibly 2023. So, that's part of it's interesting, because what just like what kind of read between the lines here, there's a big threat going on right now, and they're scared. They're scared.
They're definitely scared.
Yeah, they're running scared, and it's like, we'll outspend them. We'll go ahead and do this and do that. But Jeff, it's exactly, you nailed it. How about you just beat them on building a better product, not in where the incumbent sort of lender out there because of our statute and because of the size of our bank. No. How about you build a great product that people actually want, that's not crammed down their throat because they don't have to, and all this institutional shenanigans going on where crypto, what's his name, the crypto dude, what we were watching earlier, what's his name, Chico Crypto.
Chico.
He said it. He said, what's on the tip of all of these elites' tongues is, hey, we're getting into the game. That's Web 3.0. It originates with us. And all of a sudden, people don't like that. People in Congress don't like that. They want to go ahead and do all the inside trading. But Jeff, you and I can't do it. Nobody out there, you guys can't do it. Nobody can do insider trading unless you're a special elite. So you've earned this position where you are playing on a different playing field with a different set of rules.
Yeah, you think about that. I mean, there's so much money sitting in crypto right now, even though, you look at, let's say it's a $3 trillion market cap. But overall, if you look at the exchanges, if you look at the amount of money that's being moved right now through Binance, through FTX, through Coinbase, through Uphold, through Bitrue, through Gemini, you look at all these different exchanges, and the amount of money that they're generating is a massive, massive threat to a JP Morgan or to the brick and mortars, because the brick and mortars are so heavy in terms of actual fixed assets, in their brick and mortar locations, but they're also extremely heavy with employment costs. And that's something that they're referencing. If you look at how much they're looking for, compensation, how much they're looking for for travel, all of these, costs that are associated with these, massive entities. And so now they're trying to crush fintech through spending, but it almost seems like they don't get it. The reason why fintech is beating them in part is because they're nimble. And crypto is nimble. Crypto is making advancements and adjustments and changes because they're not weighted down, and they're not moving at the pace that these big financial institutions have to move. They answer to the investors, but they can't make these rash decisions. And so this is one of the things that's great about DeFi. Plus, it's people. So you're seeing, people like, look at Sam Fried, with FTX. How long is his company been in existence, right? So what is it, like 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah,
and the amount of money that it's worth, what it's generating right now, and so soon these entities, these exchanges, are going to surpass the valuation and the profitability of a JP Morgan. And then where's JP Morgan? So their $12 billion is going to be relatively insignificant to the greater perspective on what's happening in the crypto space. And that, that's really, kind of impressive.
Yeah, Jeff. So something else you totally nailed a little bit ago too, which was you talked about a little bit about the blockchain association. I wanted to get into this, but this is Jake Chervinsky. He's a good guy. I mean, he really he's done a lot of great stuff for the space. And, is also an attorney. He's an attorney, but he's not your attorney. He's the head of policy at Blockchain Association. He's also an advisor to the Variant Fund. Tweets are his own. They're not legal or financial advice, right? So, yeah, we kind of understand all that. But then he put this tweet out there, and this one just rubbed me the wrong way. He said XRP, and the reason I believe it rubbed me the wrong way is because of his position. Because if you look at the Blockchain Association, let's go drill down on this a little bit.
Did he ever come back from that though? From because that was a year ago. Has he come back? Has he tried to explain it? Is he making amends for it? Or is it pretty much it's out there and it's done?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it is. I understand that was from last year, but the conversation came up again. But this is it right here. This is the unified voice of the crypto industry, right? This is a Blockchain Association, a lobbying group, which is trying to do good for the space. They're not picking winners and losers and everything. But I think a lot of the reason that this came up was because of this reinvigorated sort of let's look where it is, and that's why I don't like to show that on the screen. And I just had it, but apparently I've lost it. I gotta try to find it. But anyway, the conversation became reignited, and here it is. Okay, here it is. So this is why it came up again. Jay Sparks put out, said, I think this was the Jake Chervinsky tweet that we just looked at. Another one. We got away with it for a really long time. Actually, it isn't a viable defense to an SEC enforcement action, by the way. And this is talking about the hang on a second. My gosh, man. Sometimes there's just too many of these tweets that you have to deal with. That has to do with the fair notice. That's what he's talking about. And Jay Sparks said, I think it aged well, LOL. But by the way, this is an exact defense that Ethereum will employ. Fair notice was a genius move by the Ripple team. And you're going to see people like Jake Chervinsky pull a full 180, and it will be hilarious. And then Sam from To the Lightboat said, that's a great point. I love Jake's analysis, and he definitely has the blinders on when it comes to Ripple XRP. And Jake chimed in. He said, I have many things to say about this, and I think we'd actually agree on the vast majority. But the community's hostility to criticism is so intense that I feel like it's not worth trying. I've regretted every time I've broken this commitment, and it's a shame.
That's really a shame from his perspective.
It is. It's a horrible
So what, you
shame.
get hostility, deal with it.
Man up. I mean, grow
deal
up,
with it. Exactly. He
we're
definitely needs a man up.
Jeff, I gotta tell you, I've been on Twitter probably longer than most people have. I think it's going on 12 or 13 years, maybe. I don't know. I've been on a long time. I don't block people unless they threaten my family or I don't care what people say. You want to know why, Jeff? Because I am an advocate for free speech. And if I'm going to be somebody that's going to block people, well, what's the point? I mean, if we're going to be like, oh, I don't like what you said, I blocked you. I mean, it's such a, that's when you're a kid and you're playing ball and you go like, and it's your ball, and you go, I'm going to take my ball home and I'm going to go home and nobody's going to play. It's just such a juvenile sort of a perspective. And he doesn't make it better by saying this. Oh, I don't feel like it's not worth trying. I've regretted it every time I've broken the commitment.
Again,
look, you are the head of policy at the Blockchain Association. Man up, stop being a weasel. And look, you have a different role. Me, I'm a guy on a podcast, and I just share my opinions, but I think he should be held to a higher level. Yeah, I know. Listen, we know there's a lot of jerks out there, and the XRP Army. Yeah, people don't even have they start shouting people down and don't know. I just ignore it, Jeff. You know why? Because I don't care. I mean, it's like, who cares really? But I just think he's sort of, and part of it was, when I put this one out, it's like, this is the head of policy at the Blockchain Association. Please point out the unified voice of crypto. That's against their mission statement. Bring in voices together. We don't need the Blockchain Association picking winners and losers. The people in the XRP Army, they're the bad guys. Oh, they're horrible. I can't deal with them. Well, then don't. It's
way too outspoken. I just don't get with these guys. If the Blockchain Association, they're supposed to be there as a supporter of, and you and I have talked about this before. Where have they been?
They've been nowhere.
Where are they? Nowhere. Are they trying to facilitate any type of conversation? Are they saying, hey, you know what? We need to get to government. We need to get to SEC. We need to be more outspoken. We need to put out some videos. We need to put out some blogs. We need to get on some podcasts. We need to go on and find some YouTubers out there and get on their shows and discuss the topic. Instead, they want to hide. They want to play their big Washington, D.C. lobbyist games. And they want to put out commentary like that.
They kept their mouth shut,
and you
Jeff.
think, he shouldn't. I mean, I'm looking at this and just trying to, to put, at least some sort of a positive spin on it. And I think that this is perfect. Bort, saying sounds like low T. It's a complete low T type of response. I mean, it's perfect, because how can you not get it? Don't worry about it. There's going to be critique. There's going to be disagreements. He's an attorney, for God's sakes. As an attorney, how could he, not deal with controversy or conflict or disagreement? I mean, how pathetic is that? I mean, and then he's going to be the lead. What's his role? What's his title?
He's the head of policy.
Counsel. He's the head of policy. Head of policy for Blockchain Association. I mean, come on. I mean, it's so pathetic. For him to come out and engage on Twitter and make statements like that, it's so beneath his station in terms of what he represents, for that organization, for that entity. It's really, what are they? Is Blockchain Association really an entity that's out there to support blockchain and crypto? I mean, come on. I mean, that's what, we can go on and on about the unified voice of blockchain. Who voted for them? How are they the unified voice?
Right.
Who decided that they're the unified voice?
And like I said, where is the unified voice in that statement? There's no unity in that statement. Where is it? Why we exist? Our goal is to improve the public policy environment so the blockchain networks can thrive. Meanwhile, the greatest case in the history of blockchain was an action from the SEC against Ripple, and you kept your damn mouth shut. All of you weasels over at the Blockchain Association. I'll probably regret that statement, but come on. If that's what, and again, maybe I should tone it down a little bit, but you didn't speak up. This was your job, to speak up and say, hey, this isn't right. But meanwhile, y'all like, I don't know. You like meek little mice. You meandered around, and I'm like, hey, listen, you should have stood up. You should have said, hey, this isn't right. And you should have fought it, but instead you didn't want to upset, some of the people you've been lobbying in Washington or whatever. I just don't understand we always said, hey, we need an association like this. And I think the blockchain association is really a necessary item, but you can't have these, these inflammatory comments. But I will give Jake this. So he did put out a tweet today earlier. And again, this is what I would expect from the person who's the head of policy over the blockchain association. He put this one out. He said, no matter what your view on Ripple, two things seem clear. This was about 2:00 today. They're giving the SEC more trouble than anyone in crypto, maybe even more than anyone, period, including Elon Musk. And they're leading dispute on securities law, if only because they'll fight to the death, unlike those who caved and settled. I love that statement.
That's great, but why not have that tweet instead of the pathetic tweet that he had before?
Well, sometimes, Jeff, just like we're all human, we think about things. You go like, hey, that wasn't a good look. I'm not going to delete it. But you come back with something that makes sense and says they're leading the dispute on securities law only because they'll fight to the death. So he's giving him some props, unlike those who caved and settled right there. So
he's right. I like it. I like that tweet.
It's a great tweet from somebody like Jake. Jake's
exactly. That's what he should be saying. And he should be hammering that point over and over and over again. And, he should be reaching out. This is what kills me about the tribalism and the maximalist ideologies that are out there. And you find that even within the lobbyist organizations, but they think that somehow their voice is getting out there, but they should be doing their best to do outreach. And they should be reaching out to every single one of these communities and doing it that way. They should be looking for the grassroots growth of their space. But instead, they want to have their little tight clique, and they want to reach out in their DC parties and meet, with their congressional representatives or the Congress people in DC and do their own little tiny thing without building a grassroots coalition all over the country and all over the world, which is what they should be doing.
Exactly. This is something
maybe
good
they're
too.
In quiet.
Yeah, Mark Phillips puts this tweet up. He says, Ripple needs to form a digital assets association to actually advocate for the whole ecosystem, the whole digital assets ecosystem. And I think that's right, spot on there, Mark, because it's absolutely right. And Jake Chervinsky is a really bright guy. I've really enjoyed reading his tweets are legendary. He's really, really great for the industry, but we're just making we're just narrowing one thing out. Like, you have a bigger role to play and you don't want to get caught up. And I know, Jeff, frustration sort of, ekes into it. Look, we're all human. We've all made mistakes. We've all done stuff. And I think kind of this tweet kind of brings it back around. Although Atomic Crypto said, I'm really sick of the qualifier, no matter your view on Ripple. See, that's another thing. It's like, well, no matter what you think of them, well, why do you have to put a qualifier like that?
Exactly.
What the hell does that even mean? I mean, you can totally say that about the founders of anything. Well, regardless of what it's a non sequitur. It's the but. It's like, Jeff, Jeff, by the way, Jeff, I really love that shirt, but just eliminated everything I said that I liked it, right? And when you say no matter what your thought is, and like almost as if you're implying that you hate it, right?
That's it. Yep. Yeah, go back to his tweet. And now let's look at it with that in mind. And there you go. No matter your view on Ripple, two things seem clear.
Wait, this is coming from the guy who's running policy over the blockchain association. It's just
so what's his view? What's his view on Ripple?
Well, someone that writes you would, no matter what your view is, you're either assuming other people's view is not a good positive one, or your view is not a positive one, but you're going to point out the things that are clear,
Exactly. Yeah. He's still creating a little contention, and following up with his other tweets. He obviously has a certain opinion on it, and he's trying to, put it one way or the other. Maybe he's trying to find, middle ground at this point. I don't know.
But Jeff,
it's just too much.
Jeff, though, but here's the thing, though. When you're coming at it from this angle, you're almost assuming that this is something outside of the whole crypto, digital assets, blockchain ecosphere. It's not. The action against the SEC, against Ripple, impacts everybody, impacts us all.
100%.
No matter your view on Ripple, Jeff. I mean, no matter your view on ETH, no matter your view on this, no matter your view on every altcoin, it doesn't have to be that way. And that's all I'll say about Jake. But I do like the guy a lot. His tweets are great. I know a lot of people in the XRP Army too said really great things about him. I saw stuff that Jungle said and Sam and a lot of people, but
he seems to be a fighter. He is fighting, but then he's going to create a little tension. Then he's not going to handle, we can get beyond that too.
I'm just saying from his role, look, do the right thing and say, like, and that's more along what I would expect from a guy like that. And that's really who Jake is. Exactly. And he understands it from a legal perspective, being an attorney and also somebody who really understands blockchain, which I think that he's done a really great job. And look, we might just point out one narrow thing, but you could do that with anything we do too. I mean, anybody could do that. It's just that we want to win. We want everybody to win. We want digital assets to win. We want blockchain to win. We want investors to win. It's all of us. And the tribalism is getting to be a little bit silly, and you see it kind of eke out. Look, there's a difference between tribalism and picking your favorites, right? I was watching a football game, American football game earlier. I don't have any skin in either one win, but it was exciting to see that one team was coming back and they had a chance. And to me, that's just exciting. Now, I know who I picked to win. I had my own pick and that's who ended up winning, which is the San Francisco 49ers. But sometimes things are exciting to watch. You can have a favorite to see how it's going to play out. And you don't have to have Ripple as your favorite because of all the negative FUD that's been said about it. By the way, I want to say Crypto Eddie put out a fantastic video today breaking down FUD, some other FUD from other maximalists that was just epic. Totally nailed it. I don't know if you saw her video today, but it's just really phenomenal.
It's outstanding. I want to give a quick shout out to XRP Speedboat. It's the OTC or nothing. Now get out.
Do it. Get out. It's OTC or nothing.
That's it. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's it.
OTC or nothing, Jeff.
A lot of people love Crypto Eddie, which is very cool. What's up, Stuart?
She's the best.
Yeah, man. As we're kind of bringing this, to the top of the hour here, I want to bring this out because I think it's really important. But this is how you see growth in the space as it's being adopted by others. The mayor of Miami, Mayor Suarez, really onto something. That others are looking at and saying, "Hey, is this something that can work? How do we get cryptocurrency involved and active at the city level or the state level or the country level?" But here you have Rio de Janeiro's mayor is following the lead of Miami's Bitcoin-loving Francisco Suarez and will invest 1% of the city's reserve in the cryptocurrency. Now, obviously in Miami, they're doing a little bit more than that, but this is what we were kind of referencing earlier on. Lots and lots of development that's going on right now, and the cities and states, countries are starting to see some of the benefit that can be derived from the crypto space. So forget all these things that the SEC is doing over here and the chaos. For Rio de Janeiro to look and say, "Hey, look what they're doing in Miami. We're going to do the exact same thing over here, and it's going to be good." That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, until somebody wants to try to go shut it down because of whatever they have to say about it, I just dropped in the video. I just dropped in the chat right there. But this is our other channel. It's slowly growing again, and because of you guys. Yeah. But I want everybody to go subscribe to that. If you're not subscribed to it already, the name will be changing. But what we're going to be doing and what we have been doing over the last week was taking clips from this live show, taking a clip that's 8 to 12 minutes, maybe 14 minutes, one of the clips, and then putting that on this. So you can just kind of, if you miss this show or whatever, but they're just zeroing in on one of the clips. And this is a very popular. Joe Rogan does it. Patrick Bet-David does it. A lot of people do it. And we thought that was the best way to start putting some of the content. Maybe you don't have a whole hour to watch the show, or you missed it live. You just want to see one of the better segments. That's what you're going to do here. So go ahead and click the link. It's in the description. I also just threw it in the chat.
That's great. This is the comments that we've been getting on it are fantastic.
Great, phenomenal comments.
We love these short clips. Love them. They could be 8 minutes. They could be 10 minutes. I think there might be one coming up. It's a little bit longer, but it allows you to really.
I wonder whose that one is, Jeff. Whose clip is that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I want to give a quick shout out to Hans Loaded, just doing a tremendous job helping to support, the production behind the scenes here. Also,
he's producing the clips and making all of our videos. He's given the ability to go back. You watch a video from a couple of days ago and say, yeah, Jeff and Chip are talking about whatever. You can find exactly what it is. You can go right to the chapter, click on it, watch that part of the video. Again, it's fantastic. So he's been doing a great job of that. And Jeff and I really appreciate it, Hans. So good stuff. And it'll continue to grow and evolve over time. And, at some point, maybe there'll be other shorts videos on there, but that's the best way we thought to utilize the channel. So I'd love to see your support and your ideas. Go in there, watch the videos. I mean, if you watch the show live, you don't have a reason, but at least subscribe to it. You don't always see the show live. Maybe you just want to catch one of the segments. So there you go.
Or you're too busy in the chat and you wanted to go back and say, hey, I don't remember that part. But hey, shout out for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is a very special guest spot with Eleanor Terrett, and it is going to be excellent. She's just been doing some phenomenal research and writing in the space. Also, working with Charlie Gasparino, both from Fox Business. Eleanor will be with us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys ever wondered exactly when we stream, so you'll find out. You can go now, go check it out, hit the reminder. You'll be reminded for tomorrow night. And, overall, if you're brand new here, you can also hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifier. That way you get notified every time we go live. And we do stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the website onthechain.io, and you can find that information. Go over there. You can help support the channel further over there as well. Set up, sign up for the email newsletter right now. We're pushing out, our behind the scenes kind of articles that help us compile and put together every single episode. So that's kind of cool. And then you can find links to the podcast to hear the audio, and links to the YouTube, etc. So really good stuff.
Yeah, looking forward to Eleanor tomorrow night. It's going to be fantastic. She had that epic expose writing about the SEC v. Ripple that really put it on people's radar that weren't paying attention. So we're going to break that down, talk about that. It's going to be great having her on the show. So that's all we have. Chip and Jeff out. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow night. See you on the next one. Bye.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.